from dead in Christ. And now the only life I have is the life of Christ. You say, how does that work? Well, to live in the vision, you must live on the faith facts. Seeing what can't be seen. Seeing by faith what's not substance at the time. Why would anybody go and witness to somebody if they did not think that they would ever win anybody to Christ? Why would anybody do the things they do to live for God if they did not think that there was a crown of righteousness waiting for them if they were persecuted? The Lord, the righteous judge, will give a crown of righteousness to all men that love His appearing. The martyr's crown, as you get martyred. Why would anybody go through all that if they did not believe in seeing Him who is invisible? Does Christ exist? Absolutely. Does Christ have a place for us reserved in heaven? Absolutely. It's an inheritance incorruptible, undefiled, and fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for us. For me. Does Christ, is He coming soon to say, come up hither? Or do I have to suffer in this body for another 20 years? If I thought I would have to suffer for 20 years with the pains and agonies that people have of these days, no wonder they so much want to end their own lives. But for the child of God, the faith life says, He's coming today. And if not today, it'll be tomorrow.
Yep.
I don't have to stay in this marriage much longer. Now for me, I want another 35 years with my wife. Though I'm dying before you. But if I could have 35 more years, I'd take another 35. I'm totally content. But I know people that have walked out on marriages because they couldn't go on any longer. What? One more hour? What? Oh, you don't believe in the human eternal Christ. Don't get down on me. I'm just being real with you. That's what people are saying. I can't do this any longer. The truth is, they're starting to live by sight. They're not living in the vision. And when we stop living in the vision, we start living by our own vision. You know what we do? Then we start messing up our lives. Because I've got to have this to make me happy. I've got to have this to make me happy. I've got to have this to satisfy me. I've got to get away from this. I've got to do this. I have to. To live in the vision, you live on facts. But you choose which facts you live on. Do you live on the faith facts or the faith facts? Because this life is a life of faith, not a life of faith. But the Christian life, the living in the vision, is a life of faith in the one who will never fail. In the one who will never fail. Living in the vision is living in a different dimension. It's not living in the earthly dimension, but in the eternal dimension. I do not say not in the present, for the eternal is present. It's the eternal present tense. And what's going on earth is present. But one is a total different dimension. One is an eternal dimension, while the other is an earthly dimension. Living in the vision lives in the eternal dimension. See, Paul says, he says it this way. To live on the faith facts is to live on the facts that are declared in the Word of God and delivered by the faith of God. Does Christ live in you? Do you feel it? Do you feel Christ living in you? Or do you faith it? Because if you're living on feelings, there are days I don't feel saved.
Right. Come on.
Are you living in feelings or are you living in faith? I ask that question. Does He live in you when you feel sad? Does He live in you when you feel glad? Or does He live in you when you feel mad? Does He live in you? Paul says, the life that I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God. No matter what. No matter how I feel. The God who says, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee, is either there, inside of me, or He's not.
There you go.
Paul said, the life that I now live, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave Himself for me. Paul continued on through his persecutions, through his peril, and through the prisons, even under the sword, living on the fact that Christ lived in him and the guarantee of life after. He lived in the vision. So why do we continue to pray? Why do we continue to preach? Why do we continue to praise? Why do we continue to give hundreds of dollars a month to the cause of Christ in missions and ministry expenses? Why do we do these things? Why do we go out and distribute literature and witness to people who refuse to hear and hearken? And plan to do so. I believe it's in Isaiah that he said that we're going to continue to do so until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate, and there be a great forsaking in the midst of the land. Why would we do that? Why do we keep going when the going gets tough? Because you live in the vision. First of all, you see a vision of Christ and His cross. Second, you'll see a vision of Christ and His crown. He is Lord. He is Lord. Then you'll see a vision of Christ and His church. Then you'll see a vision of Christ and His coming. And then I see a vision of Christ catching me away. Saying, come up hither.
Amen.
And guess what? So shall I ever be with the Lord. I ask this question. Are you living in the vision? If you do not get a vision of Christ, and the Word of God, and the work of God, and the ways of God, then you won't continue on. Because what will happen is, life will get rough. Life will get tough. Perilous times will come. Persecutions will come.
Yep.
And when they come, those who are not living in the vision will not live in victory. But will give up and go the ways of the world. Now, not everybody who has lived in a vision is living in the vision. Because you can take your eyes off the vision. That's why you write it down. Write it clearly. Write it simple. Write it shareable. And have it written down. You say, why? Because when the going gets rough, you can go back and look and say, oh no. Oh, I remember. I remember the vision God gave me. And I knew it was going to get rough. Don't live in your dreams. Live on a vision. I can mention a man right now, and I know, who had a dream. And his dream was to go and do this, go do that, go do this other thing for God. Things happen. It will never possibly go, there's a possibility it will never go anywhere other than the doctor's offices. He'll never do all the things he dreamed of. His dreams are shattered. When you're living in a vision, you're pressing toward tomorrow. And all the other stuff goes to the side because I've got one thing, and that's my vision. And my vision is not my new house. My vision is not my new car. My vision is not my new truck. My vision is pressing toward tomorrow for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. If I get the new house, get the new car, get the new, get whatever. If I get to fly away to China, or fly away to go to Wales and preach in Wales, or fly away to California to preach in California, or whatever, that's not my vision. My vision is pressing toward tomorrow for the prize of the high call of God in Christ Jesus. I ask you, what's your vision? Are you ready to live in the vision? Father, thank you for today. I pray you help us.